We are now recording audio. All right, here we go. And the intro drops now. So I have no idea how that sounds, Zach. We'll
I'm
find
gonna
out.
let you know. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, so we'll find out how that works out.
Yeah.
Everybody who's watching this, listening to this, mostly watching this, I'm
Hopefully.
testing some stuff out with OBS, which is the broadcasting thing. I'm trying to make the podcast look better for the future of the show, trying to make it higher quality.
Doing it for you, for the people.
Exactly. So we got some things going on. No longer in the Google Hangout. We're back on Skype like we used to be.
Yeah.
We're testing things out. If it messes up, I apologize. It's a work in progress. We're trying to get everything to be better. This is the first time using this, so from there, we'll see what happens. If it fucks up, hey, you know what? Life happens.
Yeah.
You know what they say, Zach? Everyone has to poop.
Everybody's got to poop.
So
Blind squirrels are right twice a day. Is that how it goes? I don't know.
exactly.
Yes.
And when I was in the academy, we had the saying was this, and it was not even related to this phrase. It's not even related to this. It's just a whole different phrase that everyone starts saying, which was, blah blah blah, every day and twice on Sunday.
Twice on Sunday.
Like, hey, you know what? You always do this every day, but twice on Sunday.
Yeah.
And we didn't understand why. Is it a church thing? We don't know. But it's just a phrase
It
that
sounds
everyone
like it
starts
should
saying.
be a church thing, but I don't know.
Right, but all right, guys, that's a really bad intro. We apologize.
Yeah.
But this is the Take Us Those podcast, the TS Redux, a movie podcast where every week Zach and myself get together, talk about TV, movies, pop culture, all that stuff. We've been doing it for 4 years or so, on and off, podcasting like maniacs, just for fun, for the hell of it. And now we're trying to make this a better and bigger show.
Yeah.
More
I'm excited
run,
for it.
yeah, more shit going on, more hangouts.
Got to. Because you know what? If you're not changing, you're staying the same. If you're staying the same, you get boring.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're not boring people.
No, fuck that shit. Fuck
Yeah.
that. But every week we go through some movie news, we do a review, talk about what we've been watching, what we've been playing, all that kind of stuff. And we're
Yeah.
going to start out where we always start out, which is what we've been checking out. Zach, what you've been watching, playing, reading, any of that jazz.
Before we do that, you did something last week.
Okay.
I don't know if you wanted to make a tradition,
Oh.
but I got my own pop to top.
Okay.
All
right.
I got this morning. I don't know if you've ever had this. It's spiked seltzer.
I have not. No.
I like it a lot. It basically tastes like alcoholic water, but with a better flavor.
Right.
So I don't know. We'll see how it goes for the people.
Ooh, cold one.
Ooh, yeah, crisp. I like that.
What's it called?
It's called Bon and Viv.
Okay.
What's
the review of that?
It's a grapefruit flavor, Bon and Viv, from my local gas station.
There you go.
I've had better.
See, I've never been a big fan of. I remember you and I we went to a restaurant one time.
Yeah.
And you got like an Angry Orchard or something.
Oh, we went to Mellow Mushroom and I got the Bold Rock thing for their glass.
I remember tasting it and it was like, this is too sweet for me, man.
See, this is not sweet.
I think it's grapefruit,
but it's bitter. It's like a bitter water. I don't know. It's not it's actually, now that I'm looking at it, it's not the brand that I normally get. Because last summer, when we would go to the beach all the time, one of our other guys who's our morning meteorologist, he would always grab they make like the skinny cans, like a 12-pack of this other flavor. I can't remember what the brand's called. But there's another flavor, and I had that, and I like that better. So I might look for that in the future. But this was what I grabbed when I was at the gas station.
Well,
so,
today I didn't get a cold one this show because one, my girlfriend was sick last week, and I don't know if it's season changing, pollen, whatever it is. It's hitting me now. So currently I'm on Mucinex right now.
Oh shit!
So I'm just trying to power. I'm also this day one of my 5-day vacation.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm trying to be healthy as possible, and there's going to be drinking involved at some point. But right now I'm trying to get through my head get the congestion out, all that kind of crap. So
I feel you. I got sick earlier. I got sick for the first time in a long time about a couple months ago. I was on that NyQuil shit every night.
Yeah,
it was killer. I actually felt like I was going to die for a little bit there.
Dude, it's been bad, man. So many tissues have been thrown away because
I went through at least a box and a half of tissues during that. It was like a 3-day period.
Yeah.
It was awful. You know what? When I'm drinking this, the further down I'm getting, though, I'm liking it more. So.
Oh, there you go. Okay, because you're feeling the alcohol. That's why.
Maybe that's what it is. Or I'm getting more to the taste. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
what
solid 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. So right down the middle.
Right down the middle. I don't know. We'll see by the end if I have to up the rating or not.
Right.
Probably not. But
you only got one?
Only one. Only one.
All right. Well, it is 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes, it's only 12. I'll probably get more because, it's a beautiful day here in Myrtle Beach. I'm probably going to end up going to the beach with a book because
there you go.
Sun is shining and it's almost 80 degrees
there you do
in the middle of February.
Seriously.
Yeah. But back to our main topic at hand.
Yeah.
Off our little side quest. What I've been checking out. This week has been light, shall I say.
Okay.
Didn't do too much. The weekend was not filled with a lot of craziness, a lot of stuff going on. A lot of times, a couple of coworkers had birthdays, and then Sunday was the Super Bowl, so that took up a lot of watching time as well.
Fucking ridiculous.
But one thing I did watch, I didn't talk about it last week, but episode 4 and 5 of True Detective, I watched, caught up on that.
Right.
Still liking it a lot. I like Steven Dorff more and more the more I get into the show. Mahershala, still great. I like where they're going with the story. They're getting into more of the conspiracy stuff, which is stuff I really liked from the first season. I think we're going to see more of that, so I'm excited to get more into that world and everything that's going on. Plus, the action scene at the beginning of episode 5 was not as good as the long take from. It's not as good as the long take from season 1, but it's a pretty good action scene.
I haven't watched the past. Is season 4 and 5 are out?
4 and 5 episodes 4 and 5 are out.
Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't seen either one yet.
Okay.
By all means, don't be afraid to talk about it because I don't care.
Yeah.
But because the long shot from season 1, it is really good.
It is.
That's a really good scene. That's the scene.
Plus, it's like a 7-minute long shot, which is insane.
Now we're thinking this is the one where they're in the biker gang area.
Yes. Matthew McConaughey going throughout the projects in I think it's New Orleans or something like that.
Somewhere in Louisiana. That is so good. Yeah, that's a great scene.
Yeah, fantastic. But yeah, so it's not as good as that. It's a lot shorter. It's like 2 minutes. It's like a 2-minute action scene. It's much more kinetic, but I liked it a lot. It's the thing about True Detective. There's not a lot of action in it, but when there is action, it's like it gets in there.
Is the mystery getting any better, or is it still kind of like?
I'm liking the mystery a lot. I think there's a lot of moving parts. Especially in episode 4, because I haven't seen Deadwood, but the writer from Deadwood helped write episode 4, and so that was a very dialogue-heavy episode. And they were getting in more into the mystery stuff, and now it's in episode 5, because you don't see Steven Dorff in 1990 until episode 3. And so finally in episode 5, at the end of episode 5, you see him in the current time of 2015 as an old man. And so they're finally piecing him into all of these parts together. So I'm back into Mahershala and Steven Dorff doing some old man shit in 2015, about to butt some heads and crack some skulls.
I will say this, though. I will, with the anticipation of the Deadwood movie that's coming out,
yes.
I really recommend watching Deadwood, dude. It is.
I need to watch it, especially because I have HBO now. Now. So
it's one of the best shows.
I need to watch that, and I don't know. I feel like I don't know. It's the thing of do I watch or do I not watch Game of Thrones? I've been off of it for so long that I haven't watched it yet. That I don't know if it's even worth it for me to try to watch it. I don't know, because I've also got season 2 of Westworld that I want to catch up on. So.
Right. Well, I tell you, dude, Deadwood is one of my favorite shows of all time. But then again, I'm also super biased because you and I really like Western stuff.
Yeah, that's why I want to watch it, because it's the HBO's Western, and I was like, I need to.
Well, it's hard because anything that involves the frontier or the West, I'm automatically intrigued 10 times more than it's Westerns. samurais, and like gangsters. Like
Yeah.
three of the biggest like genres films. Like I love that
Yeah.
stuff, right? So Deadwood. Remember watching Deadwood when it came out, and my dad, huge Western fan as well, so he watched it as well, and he really likes the show a lot. But I remember him telling me like the one thing that detracts from the show is the amount of cursing that's in it. And we know that's HBO. We know you can cuss, but there's a lot of it. And it's almost kind of like, okay, we get it. You know, like
A little too much. Like
we
Game of Thrones
understand.
with the sex scenes, where it's like I get it. You can do the
Right.
sex scenes. You don't have
And
to do
and
them
I
every
haven't
5 seconds.
watched it in a long time, so maybe if I go back and watch it, maybe I won't feel that same way. But
Mm.
having been watching Sopranos isn't even that bad with the cussing. So, but Deadwood, from my memory, was like very unnecessarily
Yeah, that's the
vulgar.
one thing I've heard about Deadwood is that it's like crazy amounts of swearing the whole time.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just kind of makes no sense. But
Yeah.
maybe they're trying to emphasize that the Deadwood is a place of scum and villainy, or whatever the fuck phrase of Star Wars you want to use. But yeah, I would say it's worth watching, at least because well, one of the main characters is freaking Timothy Oliphant,
I
and
know, and I love him so much.
if you don't want
Justified,
to,
man.
yeah, if you don't exactly if you like Justified, well, you might as well
Yeah.
watch him play an actual cowboy instead of a
Yeah.
modern day cowboy, so absolutely.
Definitely. So there's one other thing that I watched this week. I watched an anime movie called The Silent Voice.
Okay.
I don't know if you've watched this movie.
No, I've never heard of it.
This movie, it is. Maybe it's just because I'm an old man and I've been getting brought to emotions more in movies, but this movie legitimately made me cry the first time I watched it. This is the second time I watched it. But it is such a real take on bullying and like the effects of bullying and how it affects like not just the people who are bullied, but like the person who does the bullying itself, and like
Right.
how the effects of that and how that can so easily like turn on a kid and how that can affect their whole life. Because the whole premise of the movie is that this kid in elementary school he bullies a girl when they're in elementary school because she's deaf. And basically at one point it ends up getting to the point where the girl's mom complains to the school, and everybody in the school basically like turns on him and blames him for all the bullying, even though they were all like complicit in it the whole time.
Right.
And so the first like 5 minutes of the movie is him in like modern day, and he tries to commit suicide. And so it's all about him like trying to deal with like the repercussions of that, and he ends up like meeting the girl in like present day, and he's trying to like forgive himself, but also like be a better person and all that stuff. And it's a really good movie. It's really beautifully done. It came out the same time as like Your Name, like it was that same year of
Oh,
like
right. Okay.
it was like 2016 or when did Your Name come out? Like 2017, 2016?
2016, 2015. I never watched it, so I don't know.
Yeah. It was something like it, but it came out the same year as that movie. But I like this infinitely more than Your Name, just because it's a much more relatable like topic.
Right.
But I love this movie 100%, guys. If you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend you checking it out, especially because it's just gorgeous.
Right.
And the way that they depict it, the way that he depicts the effects of being basically ostracized is a lot of times that he'll only look like at the ground, like he looks at people's shoes, and a lot of the ways that like visually they are able to tell you that like whether he trusts somebody or not is that everybody in the world that he sees has an X over their face. And
right.
So you see his relationship change with them, and basically when it gets to the point where like he trusts them or anything like that, like the X falls away. And there's just a beautiful shot at the end. It's really great. I can't recommend it highly enough. It's such a fantastic movie.
Who's this? Do you know the studio who did it?
I do not know off the top of my head. Hold on, give me a second. I will look it up real quick.
I'm curious to see what they did, because I haven't seen I'm curious to see what they did before. Cause, if that's the studio's first film, that's pretty crazy. What's it called again?
It's called A Silent Voice.
Oh, that makes sense because she's deaf.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's 93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's Kyoto Animation is the company that did it.
Okay.
I don't know anything else from them.
Let's see. Well, they've been around for a hot minute, so.
Yeah. Oh, they did Full Metal Panic. They did.
Oh, they did a bunch of anime.
Lucky Star, Clannad.
A bunch of like actual anime. Okay.
Yeah.
They did like Free and stuff.
Yeah, they did Free. They did
Okay.
like Lucky Star. Like they've done a bunch of stuff.
Movie wise, I'm trying to see what else that they've done that maybe I would know.
Oh, they did the Haruhi Suzumiya movie.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Uh,
Oh, okay. So they have a big. Yeah. Okay. I got
yeah.
you. That's cool.
But yeah, so that was great. Yeah, highly recommend if you guys haven't seen that yet. Definitely check that out.
Right.
And that's basically all I watched. I
Well,
played
I
a little bit of
have.
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah.
I have only played like an hour of it. Got past the first world. It's fun. I like it a
Yeah.
lot. It's
It's
much
Kingdom
different than
Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts 2. There's a lot more technical things that they added to it with all the different keyblades. It's taken a little bit to
Right.
get used to. It's a much more in Kingdom Hearts was a much more complicated game than
Yeah.
than the original Kingdom Hearts, and this is a more complicated game than Kingdom Hearts 2.
Right. With that
So
whole like you can have two attached to you or whatever. You can like swap out
you can have
blades or something
you
like
can
that.
swap. So you can have three equipped at once, and you can like quickly swap between three of
Yeah.
them at one time,
It's
which is
Devil
great
May
for
Cry.
battles because a lot of times it's like that was the one thing about Kingdom Hearts 2 is that like the way different battles work that it's like if you don't know what's coming up and like you're not prepared, like you might need magic, and if you have a keyblade that's like not heavy on magic, you might be like fucked. So it's great
Right.
that you can have that ability to like quickly swap through, and then they have a lot of different form changes with the keyblades and stuff like that. So the one you get from like Hercules World is like really heavy and like being able to like counter and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's an interesting game so far. I mean, I've only got like an hour or so into it, hour and a half maybe.
Right.
Uh, it's a fun time so far though. I'm liking it.
It's Kingdom Hearts.
If you like Kingdom Hearts, you'll like it. If you don't like Kingdom Hearts,
You're not
you
gonna
probably
like it. Yeah. That's me. That's me.
yeah.
I was very interested in looking at it, so I watched a couple of videos about it. It looks cool. I mean, it looks fine.
Yeah.
But I am never gonna.
I think the biggest detractor from a lot of people is that, especially it's like Kingdom Hearts. The difference between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, the lore is a lot like too crazy because there was only like the Game Boy Advance game, the Chain of Memories in between. So there's not like too much crazy story stuff you miss out on. The difference between Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3 story wise, the gap is so insane that like I had to watch like three different like recap videos to try to figure out like
Right.
what the story's been in because I don't have like I didn't have a Vita, so I never played like the Vita or the PSP one, and they've got like three different like Game Boy Advance or DS games that came out, and like there's just a bunch of like weird crazy stuff that there's just so much lore that goes into
Right.
the game that like if you weren't
Well,
paying attention, it's a lot of stuff.
I always equivalize Kingdom Hearts to being like anime Metal Gear Solid. Like
Basically,
it's like Metal Gear Solid Super. Now, granted, there's no I don't know any hour-long cutscenes in Kingdom Hearts, but
dude, there's a lot that I would play this game a little bit before I went to work, and it got to the point where it was like I was in cutscenes for 30 minutes, and I was like,
yeah,
what the fuck? I need to go to work. I can't be late
yeah.
for work.
Well, in terms of, I'll pick up your slack in terms of what you've been watching because I
Okay.
watched a ton this week.
You had a busy week? All right.
Yeah, I had a very busy week. And I'll start with this. Actually watched this last week, but I didn't mention it because I forgot to write it down. But I rewatched for the third time this year Die Hard.
Okay.
And this don't need to spend more time talking about Die Hard. It's Die Hard. It's an amazing movie. It's a perfect film.
I have a caveat to this.
Okay.
Before, the one I watch movies with a lot,
Right.
posed this question to me. And I think he gave me answers. He gave me one answer that legitimately was like, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? So he posed this question to me of, what are your top 3 action movies of all time?
Right.
His answer was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon,
Okay.
The Matrix, and Die Hard.
Okay.
I'm fine with Die Hard. I'm fine with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I don't think The Matrix is one of the greatest action movies of all time.
Okay, well the second movie I watched this week that's a perfect movie is The Matrix.
Oh my god! All right.
Which is again I think the second time I watched it in the past 3 months.
Yeah.
Because to me The Matrix is it's a pretty close to perfect movie, if not perfect. Now, the downside to The Matrix are that Keanu Reeves didn't really have the ability to kick because he got an injury, so he couldn't do kicking stuff. So there's a lot of punching, and also his delivery was very middle of the road. And maybe that's because the script, maybe that's because the way Keanu wanted to portray the character. I don't know. I actually think that's really cool that he played this kind of like middle of the road character, unsure. He's not overly positive, but he's not overly negative. Action wise, it's changed the game, man. Without the Matrix,
I'm not saying. I know. I agree that I think it's one of the most influential action movies.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I mean, when you look at like Bullet Time and like all that crazy
Right.
stuff, like it changed the
Right.
landscape.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's not influential. I just don't. And I recognize that it's also a good movie. I enjoy it a lot. I think The Matrix is great. I just on my list of top 3 action movies, I just don't.
Right.
It wasn't one that immediately jumped to my mind.
Well, to me, of your friends list, Crouching Tiger shouldn't even be close. I love Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I actually haven't seen the new one, the Dragon Blade or whatever.
I haven't watched Netflix one either. Yeah.
But in terms of wuxia films or whatever, I always forget the genre. WUXIA, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, I think so.
Like in martial arts films and kung fu films, I think Crouching Tiger may be one of the biggest ones to hit in America. But in terms of greatest ones, I would pick Drunken Master 1, Drunken Master 2.
That's what I was saying. I was like, I'd rather watch like Drunken Master than.
Yeah, even Once Upon in China, I would pick before I would pick Crouching Tiger. But in terms of like kung fu films, like in that ancient China, ancient Japan, like Chinese action martial arts films, yeah, I would pick Once Upon a Time in China, or maybe even Iron Monkey, more than I would pick. But in terms of action, being the broad term of action, Die Hard's, I can't do top 3, but top 5: Die Hard, The Matrix, probably Predator, and then insert Police Story or some Jackie Chan film. And then, but to me, the Matrix, without the Matrix, we wouldn't have John Wick, and John Wick is so amazing. Now, obviously, you can't just sit there and judge. Oh well, Citizen Kane is amazing because it gave us these things. I hate Citizen Kane, but people will still give it credit for it, and I hate when people do that. But
I don't know. Matrix, I put my list, the 2 movies that popped into my head right away were John Wick, and then The Raid.
Right.
Those were the 2 that immediately popped into my head of what I would put on my list.
And for me, The Raid it's reverse Die Hard.
Yeah.
And I love The Raid. I actually on my list of the next movie that I watched was the masterpiece that was 2011's The Raid.
Yes.
I watched The Raid yesterday, last night at work. I have watched all 3 of these movies because it was an action mood. The Raid's fantastic. I think The Raid 2 is better. Yeah, again, if I had my top 5 action films, it would be probably Die Hard, The Raid, The Matrix, Predator. That's 4, right?
Die Hard, The Raid, Matrix. Yeah, that's 4.
4, and then 5 is a toss up between, again, like the Police Story, Once Upon a Time in China, The Enforcer, some martial arts film probably, like some other Chinese thing. Yeah. Because Commando and those movies are great, and I love them to death, but they're not like,
I don't know. For me, it's like if I think of like action in like terms of pure action. I mean, see, that's the thing. You just said top action movies, so for me, it's like I think of the action scene. So it's when I think of that, I think of like Ong Bak maybe, or maybe I mean, The Raid. I literally was like the first 2 things was I was like John Wick, The Raid.
Well, see, for me, like The Matrix is up there for sure because everybody and their mom knows the Matrix scene where Neo dodges the bullets on the roof. Like that scene is like they called that when we were kids. Kids would go, "Oh, he's doing the Matrix." Like shit like that, right? No, don't even put the bullet time stuff in there, which is obviously cool and everything. But in terms of a story, on a deeper level thematically, it is like it's up there with Blade Runner, dude. Which I know I made fun of last week, but it's up there with hard science fiction.
Yeah.
But then you couple that with like, I know Kung Fu now. Show me. Like all these cool ass lines, you know what I mean? Like dodge this. Cool ass shit. Shit like that, but
I mean, just for the elevator lobby scene alone. Yeah. Yes, I agree.
Well, see, I actually like.
I don't know. It just wasn't the ones that immediately popped into my head, but
I get that. But to me, it's a movie that gets on Amazon Prime now.
Yeah,
all 3 of them, and I was so excited to watch because I watched it a few months ago, and every time I watch it, I get more and more of appreciation for it. And every time I watch it, I always wonder like what happened to the Wachowskis in terms of like their films, not their personal lives, obviously, but like in terms of like their films, because I love Speed Racer. I think it's an underappreciated film. Jupiter Ascending is garbage.
Yeah.
And I was excited to see that movie. I went to see it by
Did you
myself
ever
in
watch
theaters.
their TV show?
Oh, Sense8.
Sense or what? Yeah,
Sense8.
Sense8.
I skimmed through it. I didn't care for it.
I never watched it. I just didn't know if you had, because
No.
I knew a lot of people liked it. So
Yeah, from what I hear, it's good. I watched the first episode and skimmed like 2 or 3. I just didn't really. Maybe I'll like it if I watch it. I love because there are no directors out there or writers who make anime like they do. Like they make legit anime and like in live action. That's their skill set. You know. Oh, my number 5 for sure. Takeaway Police Story. It's fucking Dread. It's Dread.
Oh yeah, Dread, dude. Dread, 100%.
Which is also again 3 movies on my top 5 list, which are pretty much Die Hard.
Yeah.
There's Die Hard, The Raid, which is inverse Die Hard, and Dread, which is inverse Die Hard.
Dread is Die Hard when John McClane is basically invincible.
Yeah, Pyrex. But so those are all those movies except for Die Hard, The Matrix, and The Raid. I watched those films because 1, they're awesome. Yeah. But 2, because I watched a movie that made me want to watch them. That I started a couple times that you told me to watch. So I finally watched The Night Comes for Us.
Yeah.
And I had a really great time with it. I think it's
I love that movie so. I agree. The beginning, because I remember you told me a couple months ago that you tried to watch it and the beginning is slow, and I agree the beginning is slow. But once that shit kicks off, that shit goes into high gear.
I like it as a whole lot. But my biggest gripe with it is that it's kind of shallow in terms of depth of story. Yeah. They mention all these cool things that I want to know more about.
I want to know more about the 7 C's. Yeah,
the 6 C's.
Yeah, or the 6
C's, and then the girl, like, they never explain who she is.
Yeah.
Or why she wants to kill the 6 C's.
Random assassin. Yeah.
And then she fights the 2 girls in the apartment, and she gives them like a rank. Oh, you're number 3. You're number 4. Well, I want to know what that is. Like, they're giving me tidbits of things that I would see in like No More Heroes or like something like super cool, and that's awesome. And I want to see more of that. Yeah. But they don't, obviously, because we know how it ends. And in terms of the gore and action, I really liked that a lot. That was really sweet to see that, to see how the action was. And I really liked the way that I forget his name, the actor who plays
the main guy or the main villain.
The main character.
Iko Uwais?
That's the villain.
Yeah. I can't remember the other one. He's also in the...
Yeah, he's the guy who died. He's the cop who dies in the Raid 1.
He's the one that gets axed, right?
No, he gets his neck snapped by the Mad Dog guy, and they're fighting in the apartment. Yeah, I like the fact that I googled his name and I saw he's a judo champion.
Okay,
which makes sense because his style of fighting.
Taslim, Taslim.
It's like Joe, right?
Yeah, Joe Taslim. Right.
Well, I like the way that because I remember when I started watching and seeing that he was going to be the main character, I knew that his style of martial art was going to be way different than Iko Uwais, because we watched Iko Uwais, and in the Raid he fights very more. He's bouncing around a lot because he's a cop in a building. Yeah. And then number 2, he's more smoother because he's not in a building fighting for his life. He's more trained. And then you see him like in Moranta, whatever, Morantu. But you see the main Johnny or Joe, whatever, in this movie, his style is so much more, I don't want to say unrefined, but it's like you can tell he's stronger as a person. He's bulkier. He's not doing all these fancy moves like Iko Uwais does. He's doing bigger motions, and I think it's cool to see that he's just more of a brute force. Like, you hit me, I'm gonna get back up, and I'm gonna brute force you. Versus like, I'm gonna Bruce Lee kick you 50 times in the face, that kind of stuff. And that's not saying he can't do it. That's just saying that the way they played it in the movie seemed like that, to give these 2 actors 2 different types of styles. I liked it a lot. It's really fun. But again, my big gripe was definitely the fact that I wish there was more depth to it. So I watched that, and that made me want to watch The Matrix and The Raid. And then the last two things I watched, I haven't finished yet. Two TV shows. The first one's Bodyguard, which is...
Is it good?
I don't know.
I heard good things about it, and I'd been interested in checking it out, but...
I've watched the first 4 of like the 7 or 8 or whatever on Netflix. And the main actor is fine. The guy from Game of Thrones is fine. The lead actress is really great too, who plays the politician. And the story, I get, it's cool, it's interesting. But parts of it wasn't what I expected coming into it, which is maybe why I'm not as enthralled with it, because I was expecting something else. But I'll probably finish it at some point. And the other thing been watching, is a show called Kingdom on Netflix, which is a Korean...
That's the zombie... Yeah. I saw that pop up on my thing, and I wanted to check it out. It looked really crazy and weird.
Yeah, it's like Korea, Once Upon a Time in China, that like time period, I guess, or roughly, ancient Korea, and it's about a king is dying, and his new wife, who's like young, is part of a different clan, and she's pregnant with a son, and so when he dies and the baby's born, the baby will become the new king or whatever. But that she's going to be part of the clan that they don't like. People don't like this clan because they're bad. They're bad people. Or I haven't got to the point why they don't like them, but they're bad people, I guess. But the king has a son from an illegitimate heir who's older than his mom. So they're trying to get rid of him. That way he can't be in line anymore to be king, right? And they do that while the king apparently dies and then is brought back to life with this zombie serum thing. That way he can be alive. There's some plants or something, so that the king can be alive until the baby is born. That way that lineage passes. And then the son, the prince that's still the prince, is going around trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. And then he encounters like a zombie outbreak. Like there's one scene where, forgive me if I'm spoiling this for you, but there's a scene where there's a city somewhere in I think the south or the north part of the Korea or whatever, and they're waiting for food and they're starving. So this guy makes food, but he puts in a dead body. He cuts it up to give meat to people so they can eat, because where he grew up, they had to do that to survive, right? But that body was a dead person that they were bringing back from the capital or something.
Zombie meat?
That person was zombie meat. So now the entire town becomes zombies, and they're freaking the fuck out. And they go away, and they barricade it. And then some other people travel by and see it, and they open up the barricades, and they move the bodies, because during the day, the zombies are not zombies. They're dead. At night, they become zombies.
Okay.
Right? So they move the bodies. They start like, oh, who killed all these people? And they're like, no, put them back, because when the sun goes down, we're going to die. Guess what? The sun goes down. And they all fucking die. So, but I was expecting more high-flying, high-wire martial arts. And I haven't got that yet, which is why I'm depressed. Because I wanted to watch that. I wanted to watch high-flying stuff.
Yeah.
And wire work. And maybe I went into this with different expectations, much like with Bodyguard, which is why I'm not loving it. But I'll probably finish it.
Okay.
So that's what I watched.
Check that out.
Yeah, that's what I watched. It's fun. It's interesting. So we're going to move into our next segment, and hopefully this works out properly.
I hope so.
Our news segment of the show, where we get together, we gather news of the week, we talk about some of our favorite things, and hopefully we won't run too long. But, Zach, what's the first thing you want to talk about, man?
So the first thing I want to talk about, we've got, a busy kind of stuff. But related to, I think, what our next week is going to be about, Anna Taylor-Joy will be starring in Edgar Wright's new movie called Last Night in Soho. This is a psychological thriller, horror type of movie that he's working on. That's literally all we know about it. But I like Anya. Is it Anya or Anna?
I think it's Anya.
I think it's Anya, because there's like a Y in it. So it's Anya Taylor-Joy. She's going to be in it. Takes place in California. I'm down for it.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything Edgar Wright touches, I'm automatically like...
Yeah, after Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. I don't know why I said The
Walking Dead, yeah.
But Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and Baby Driver, yeah, it's just, he can do no wrong in my opinion.
And he's just a good director. He's so original. So anything he does, like we mentioned last week, anything he does, I'm automatically on board for.
Right.
So, yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Well,
what do you want to talk about, Jason?
I want to mention this news right here. Okay. Michael B. Jordan is starring in the Tom Clancy movie Without Remorse, coming out in 2020, I believe is what it was. Here's the thing. I didn't know they're making Without Remorse movie. I didn't know that Michael B. Jordan was going to play the main character in it.
I didn't know. See, I didn't know that either because I already knew he was in another like spy. They did like now they do the thing where it's like spy / like John Wick.
Right.
It's called like what is it? It's like White Bear or something like that. That's supposed to be coming out like this year or next year or something like that. So I knew he was starring in that, but yeah, I didn't hear anything about him being in like a Tom Clancy movie.
Well, and the thing is, I grew up with Dad. My dad was in the military my whole life, right? So he loves Tom Clancy. He likes it because it's based in fact, right. and it's very well researched. Tom Clancy did a lot of research and stuff. So when I asked him growing up, hey, Dad, I want to read a Tom Clancy book. Which one can I read as a 13, 14-year-old and be accessible to me?
Yeah.
He goes, okay, these ones are their concepts are a little, mathy and kind of shit like that. So Rainbow Six, read that. You can read that. Without Remorse, you can read that. And then, Patriot Games, you can read that because it's about the IRA or whatever. Okay, cool. Right. Well, what's Without Remorse about? Because that title sounds really... We all know Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
What's Without Remorse about? He goes, okay, well, Without Remorse is it's a revenge book.
Okay.
It's about a Navy SEAL who, from Vietnam, who comes back and he meets a girl and the girl gets killed by her pimp or whatever. And he's like, okay, fuck that shit, I'm killing all of you. And it's about him tracking down everybody and killing them, as well as working for the government in the CIA, part-time. So he's like stalking these gang members. He's like putting on like hobo shit and like smelling like piss, and, like sitting there in a trash can, like stalking his prey and like taking notes or whatever. And he progressively kills all of them. And I'm like, yeah, I'm reading that book. So that's the first Tom Clancy book I read, and I love it so much. So that combine this with Jack Ryan coming out this past year, like it's a good time to be a Tom Clancy CIA spy fiction fan.
Oh yeah, we didn't really. That came out before we started doing our podcast. Yeah. But you watched Jack Ryan, right?
I fucking loved it.
You liked it?
I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good.
Loved it, man. I never watched The Office, so I don't have any love towards John Krasinski except that he's married to Emily Blunt. That's the only reason why I like him, because I love Emily Blunt and everything she's in.
Yeah.
And John Krasinski was good in 30. What's the Michael Bay movie about Benghazi?
Oh, 13 Hours.
He was great in that.
He was good in A Quiet Place too.
I've never seen it.
He was good in it.
And then as Jack Ryan, while they did tweak things about the story, they weren't bad tweaks. And I thought he was really great as Jack Ryan. I'm excited for the next part of the season or next season to come out. Definitely. So I'm curious if they're going to connect these. They probably won't, but it'll be really cool because at some point,
is there some connection to him, like in the books? Is there a connection between Jack Ryan and?
Yeah. So Michael B. Jordan's character, John Clark or John Kelly. I'm pretty sure his first name is John Kelly or Clark. He becomes originally Kelly, then becomes Clark after he changes identity or whatever.
Okay.
He's older than Jack Ryan, but he ends up working for CIA, this Rainbow Six, all this kind of stuff. Jack Ryan eventually becomes president, and they have this friendship, and they end up working together through different things. Because Jack Ryan's never really Jack Ryan's not a guns a-blazing character.
Right.
John Clark is the guns a-blazing character. Mm-hmm. Jack Ryan's son becomes like that, I believe, in Bear and the Tiger or whatever, or whatever the fuck his other books that I haven't read yet because I don't remember. But yeah, they do have connections. Because it's called the Jack Ryan verse, and then John Clark will come in because Willem Dafoe played John Clark in God, what was it, Clear and Present Danger? One of those movies in the 90s. He played with Harrison Ford. But Michael B. Jordan's a good pick. I'm excited for that. He's a good actor.
He's great.
And normally I would have some gripe about why do we have to do another movie? And then at some point I'm waiting for someone to say, why does it have to be a black guy? But for the character of John Clark, it doesn't matter because all he has to do is be a soldier and be a veteran and be a SEAL it don't matter. So,
Yeah.
I'm curious if they're gonna make it take place in the 70s or make it take place now, and then
I feel like because it's like they did that update with Jack Ryan too, right? Or it's like it takes
yeah,
place basically in modern day. So
modern
I'm
day.
assuming that's what they're going to do with the Tom Clancy's. Because I think it's like I think with Tom Clancy stuff, it's like I think a lot of his books take place like during the Cold War, right? But I think stuff that even
Yeah.
I think especially with like the war on terror that we've got going on right now, I think it's easy to make that like jump into present day.
Well, it would make sense. It would be cool if they crossed them over too between the Amazon series and the movie. Who knows if that's going to happen or not? But that'd be kind of cool. But
yeah, and I saw the script was by Taylor Sheridan,
and he's
so
great.
that already has me on board
Yeah,
because I
he's
love everything
fantastic.
he writes. So.
Well, what do you want to talk about next? What's next hot piece of
So
news?
next we've got a little bit of comic book news.
Okay.
So this is the only I only put this in because of all the Marvel movies that I've watched, from what I can remember, this is the only one that I've actually watched like multiple times besides like Avengers. And that is that fuck, I can't say his name. Taika Waititi, I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah.
Wants to make another Marvel movie. Doesn't say what it is yet, but he wants to make it, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and I'm curious because I saw articles that said he wasn't going to do Guardians.
Yeah, he basically said that he doesn't want to do Guardians 3 because, like, I don't even know if they're going to make Guardians 3 because I don't know if they're going to have anybody that wants to step into James Gunn's chair.
Well, I
so
also know that I know Dave
Bautista.
Bautista. I know Bautista said that he's kind of done after his
he
contract's
basically
over.
said that if James Gunn's not doing it, he's not doing it. So I'm pretty sure like Guardians are like basically dead after Infinity War. So.
But he doesn't need them because he is in fucking Dune. Like he's making moves.
Yeah, I mean Bautista's doing his own shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like one of the only ones that's like, I mean, besides like maybe John Cena or is like a WWE wrestler, and I guess The Rock.
The Rock, yeah.
That are made that transition from being wrestler to being movie star.
So. Yeah, Batista still has a way to go.
Yeah,
he's
definitely not on The Rock's level.
Yeah, he doesn't have the same like screen presence that The Rock has.
Yeah,
or the comedic timing where he can be a dry like Drax is.
It's weird because when you look at the movies that he's been a part, he actually hasn't. He's done the opposite of The Rock because I mean he was in Spectre.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Blade Runner.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be in Dune. So a lot of the stuff that he's going for has been like harder, more like sci-fi driven stuff. So I think, I mean, it's like he hasn't really. I think that works better for him because I think John Cena's been trying to take more of the Rock route, but
yeah,
he's just been doing his own shit where he's been going.
I look at it as like Batista as in Blade Runner. I always forget his name, the character's name.
I can't remember
because he was only in it in the beginning.
He's only in it for like the first 10 minutes.
But he's not like, from what I remember from reading about it, like he's not a killer. The character, he's like a medic, right?
Yeah, he was like a medic during the war, I think, or something like that. And like when Ryan Gosling comes upon him, he's like a farmer, on like a ration farm or something like that.
Even having the fact that you have the biggest guy next to Ryan Gosling, like his character isn't the Rock's character would always be someone who would would be a fighter or something.
Like Hobbs and Shaw.
Exactly. Whereas in this one, hold on, I'm pulling up now. Let me see if I can find it. Dave Bautista, Sapper Morton.
Sapper, yeah.
He okay. Well, I'll see if I can pull it up quick just to make sure that's what it does. I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Yeah.
That he wasn't. Okay, here we go. He's an older Nexus 8 replicant. Despite his large size and strength, he's polite, well-read. He used to be an army medic on the Alpha colonies. Yeah. So like, he wasn't like some sort of like. He's not Deckard. He's not. Yeah. He's not K. He's not some assassin who's putting down other replicants. He's just a guy who was He's a big replicant who was a freaking medic, right? Yeah. And in Inspector, he was a big assassin character, but he was it's James Bond. It's fine. And then in Dune, I'm curious to see because he, like I said, we talked about it last time we mentioned this. He can do either role. Will he be a big, strong presence fighting character, or will he be a big guy who happens to have not that skill set?
Yeah. I think from what I've read of Dune so far and what I've seen of the character that he's going to be playing is it's going to be a little bit more the physical role because I'm pretty sure he's like a henchman of Skarsgård's villain. So I assume they're probably going to lean more on like the physicality part of that.
I'm fine with that too because he's fucking big.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He's also Filipino, so respect.
Hey.
But he's also from DC, so respect that too. 2 levels. Boom. DMV baby.
Boom, boom.
But no, also speaking of Taika Waititi, whatever, didn't James Gunn, didn't they confirm something with him recently with DC?
Well, he's doing Suicide Squad too.
Is he directing it or just writing it?
He's directing. I think he's directing it and writing it. I think he's doing both. Because basically, from what I've heard, is that Suicide Squad 2 is going to be a soft reboot.
Really?
I mean, it better be.
A soft reboot of a movie that came out, but Suicide Squad 1 made a ton of money.
It did, but
it sucked.
Nobody liked it. I don't know.
Well, people liked it. People who like Harley Quinn liked it.
Yeah, but she's not even. I mean, they're putting out Birds of Prey before they're putting out Suicide Squad 2.
Birds of Prey. We bring back that piece of crap. Why the fuck are we talking about that shit? All right, what do you got next, man?
Okay, so next thing we've got. Hold on, let me see what we've got. This is the move. This is the news. I saw this. This has me the most excited. FX ordered the Y: The Last Man series. It's official. It's coming to your a TV screen near you. I don't think they have any information about it, but it's definitely coming. I don't know. I don't know any of those people besides Imogen Poots, but Y: The Last Man. It's coming. Love the series. I'm excited to see it on the big screen.
What? Let me hold on. A question for you.
I guess,
am I making this up, or was Anton Yelchin supposed to play?
See, I think back when this idea was first floating around, because when the idea was first floating around, I think it was before he died. I think we had fan casted him as it, or we had originally seen that he was supposed to be playing in it. But since then, I mean, he died.
Right.
But I think they've cast somebody else in it.
So I feel like
I didn't see anything. I feel like we did at some point either fan cast him or read a piece of news that said he was originally supposed to be starring in it. But yeah, I don't know.
He would have been a really great.
He would have been great. Yeah, I would have liked him a lot.
Well, who's playing? What's his name then?
Barry Keoghan? What the fuck? I don't know who this is. He was in the Yorgos movie, Killing a Sacred Deer. And Dunkirk? I don't know who this is.
What's his name?
I basically haven't seen anything that he's in. His name is Barry Keoghan. Keoghan.
Okay. I see it. Barry.
And Diane Lane. I'm excited for Diane Lane. That's cool.
Oh, this guy. No. This guy.
I don't know anything about him.
Come on. This dude's playing Yorick?
Apparently.
Dude, no way. Give me an American. Come on. Come on.
Dude, I swear to God, I better see some fucking magic tricks or I'm going to blow my shit.
Here is the first problem I have with this casting. I go to his Wikipedia page, and the very top of his thing says, Kogan is an ambassador for Dior. This guy, no offense to him, I'm sure he was fine. Remember in Dunkirk, he was perfectly fine. I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I'm saying visually, I don't see it. He reminds me of Ezra Miller trying to play Barry Allen. I don't like it. Because he reminds me of Ezra Miller.
He does look like Ezra Miller, yeah. A lot.
It's Ezra Miller, right? That's the guy I'm talking about?
Who plays the Flash? Yeah.
Okay, making sure. Okay. I'm excited for this, man. This is a great comic book.
Yeah. Probably one of my favorite graphic novel series of all time besides Preacher, probably.
Yeah. Is that still going?
I think it is. I think Preacher's still going on because it's on AMC. I don't know. The last thing I saw from it was season 2, but I haven't seen anything else since then. I don't know.
I have never watched it, honestly. I watched the first
4 episodes or something like that, and then I lost track of it. But, I mean, from the episodes that I watched, I liked what it's... The Preacher show is a lot different than the comics.
Right.
For sure. But, I mean, I liked what I was watching.
Right.
I liked the guy who was playing Jesse. I don't remember what his name is, but, I mean, I liked him. I liked who they had as Daisy. I liked who they had as Cassidy. I don't know. I remember liking all the people who were in it. I just remember that it was a much different I mean, just the story itself in like the first 4 episodes is like completely different from the comics because it wasn't like it's not an expanded thing. It's not a journey thing. Like it all takes place in like a small town in like the church where it happens, and it's very strange.
I think at some point, I think at the end of the first season they leave that town. I think.
Maybe I don't know. I hope so. It's Preacher is it's all about the journey. So if they don't leave that town, it's a really boring show.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm excited for that. That's definitely going to be interesting to see how it turns out. In terms of other news, I know people who've been watching this. I have been doing cool editing things. For this, I don't have them because I realized that last minute what I tried to do didn't work in terms of like before we started the show. Okay. I realized like I had slides made for news stuff, but then I realized that we couldn't talk over it because I didn't set something up right. So I had to use what I had yesterday set up, which is only the first 5 pieces of news. So now I have no pictures for this. Sorry. And also the pictures I were using the frames were I had a better frame set up. I'll fix it next week. But I want to mention that this is a piece I want to talk about seriously. Seriously. Movie series. Yes. Paramount scraps, this is from Collider, their headline. Paramount is scrapping David Fincher's World War Z 2 over budget concerns. Essentially, the article is saying that some people on the sides were saying that there was under budget, some saying it was over budget, but it was scrapped either way. In terms of this, in terms of what it means for David Fincher, I'm very annoyed because he hasn't put something out in a while.
He hasn't. I was looking. I was actually. It's funny that you brought this up because we were talking. I was talking with my buddy because we were talking about. I think we were talking about director nominees or something like that. Or he was watching something where Fincher came up, and I looked at his movies, and he hasn't put out a movie since Gone Girl. I think
Gone
was
Girl.
the last movie he came out with, which was like 2014, like 2015, something like that. Yeah, like, it's been a while.
And I know he's a very like particular director. I know that. If you watch any of his movies, you know how. Except for Alien 3, you know how particular he can be in terms of his stuff takes a lot to do. And I'm pretty sure he's a director that they said that he'll take 50 takes for a scene. I think that's the director who's known for doing a lot of takes. Whereas Clint Eastwood's the opposite. Clint Eastwood will go one take, that's it.
That's the one.
Fincher's like, we're doing that 60 times until we get it right.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I'm frustrated because I know he was supposed to be doing that HBO series with Casey Affleck, right? The Lewis and Clark series.
Oh my god!
They got scrapped. I'm pretty sure he was directing and.
Well, I know he's doing season 2 of Mindhunter right now, so that's his big project.
But did he even direct that first season? He like produced it, right?
He directed
first episode.
He directed the first 2, and then I think he directed the finale, and then I think everything else was done by somebody else.
I'll tell you what, the mistake that is happening with Mindhunter, I was thinking about Mindhunter recently, is that it's been too long.
It's been way too long.
It
came out
it's been over a year, right?
Yeah, I think it came out in like 2017, I feel like.
Yeah, I think it did.
I don't think it came out last year. I think it came out, like almost, I think, like 2 years ago.
Hey Siri. When did Mindhunter come out?
Mindhunter was released October 13th, 2017.
So
2 years.
It's a little late. At this point, I don't care.
Yeah.
Cause I read the description for season 2, and I know it takes place apparently a few years later during an actual serial spree, which is cool. But at this point, I'm kind of like, oh man, you gotta have to put that shit out soon because I'm kind of not caring anymore.
Yeah, I'm losing interest in it for sure. Yeah.
Well,
I think it's supposed to come out this year though, but.
Yeah, I'm fucking better.
Yeah.
The last thing news I want to say is something I put in there last minute because I didn't know this was happening. Well, I knew it was happening, but I didn't see the trailer until
I didn't know it was happening. I didn't know the trailer was happening until yesterday. That was the first time I didn't even know this movie was a thing until yesterday.
I saw the movie was coming out like a few weeks ago, or last week or whatever. I was looking for news or looking at upcoming releases. But I didn't know a trailer was coming out until I saw it today on YouTube when it came up as a pre-roll.
Yes.
The new Shaft movie is coming out this summer, I think. And it has 3 shafts in it. It has the original shaft, which was in the last shaft.
Richard Roundtree.
It has the shaft currently, Samuel J.
Yes.
And then it has a new shaft, which is Samuel L. Jackson's son.
It's like Jesse Usher or something like that.
Yeah, I've never seen him before, but
I don't recognize him from anything.
I'm gonna
He's
say
from
this,
Empire
Zach.
or something.
I'm gonna say this, and I mean this with all due respect to the people involved in Shaft, which is named the same as the last Shaft, except for the last Shaft had an actual full name, but they just call it Shaft.
Yeah.
All due respect to everyone involved in that film, people who are excited for this movie to see the new Shaft with 3 shafts in it. This movie looks fucking awesome. The movie looks fucking rad. It looks so fun. This is the only time I'll be excited for Samuel L. Jackson because it's so. That's who he is as a character style. So when you get to play that, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. This movie looks so fun. It looks action. It looks fun. It looks corny and cheesy.
Yeah.
And
I'm excited for how corny it fucking looks. Like the jackets and everything, and I'm excited for that. The thing that was getting me was like Jesse's Usher character is supposed to be like, I guess the millennial Shaft, where he says the thing. He has the bit where he says you can't hit a woman or something like that, and then he gets punched in the face. And so I was like, I don't know if they're like making fun of millennials or whatnot. I mean, it made me laugh. So
well, I honestly took that as because of what the next line is. You asked about
equal opportunity ass whooper.
Yeah, I'm equal opportunity ass kicker. You asked about her gender, not me. I'm equal opportunity. Like that's funny. It's funny, and people can laugh on both sides of that.
Yeah.
You know, because if you go back to blaxploitation films from the 60s and 70s, like the original Shaft movies, which I haven't seen, but like films of that era, blaxploitation movies, they are fucking. If you watch them now, you'd be like, God, it's misogynistic as shit.
Yeah.
So it's fun because Shaft is supposed to be a suave kind of guy, from what I understand. So it's fine. I think it's a really fun trailer. I'm excited for it.
I was not excited about it when I saw the poster yesterday, because they released the poster yesterday. Until I saw the tagline, which was "More Shaft than you can handle," and I was like, they know what they're doing with this movie.
Now all I'm waiting for is the other big black superhero quote unquote movie for a sequel, and that is. What year did this come out? That is, hold on. 1997 Steel. Starring Shaquille O'Neal.
I was definitely going to say I want the Blade reboot.
Oh, yeah, Blade 2.
Well, Steel. I mean,
who's
if we're going to talk about Steel, then obviously we have to have, oh shit, what's the movie called? Oh my god. I can't remember. Oh well. Don't worry about it. I had a great joke and I can't remember it.
Who would play Blade though? That's the problem.
I don't know. Who would you have to play Blade? No, I don't know anybody who's Wesley Snipes. I don't know anybody who could be Wesley Snipes.
Yeah. Wesley Snipes is too old now, though.
He is. I saw him do an interview and I was like, damn, Wesley Snipes, you look old.
Yeah, he's old, man.
Yeah.
Well, you got any other news before we move into our review of the show?
I feel like I have to bring this up.
Go ahead.
Just the nature of movies. Avatar live action scenes are filming this year in New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they're finally being filmed this year. Avatar came out like forever ago. And
high school.
Talking about making a sequel forever. I figured he would have already shot the live action stuff.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring this up to give that stamp of I don't give a fuck.
Well, if you're gonna bring up Avatar: Last Airbender live action series, I would be excited.
Yeah, I would be.
Because that's gonna be awesome.
I would be. Unfortunately, it's not that.
Yeah.
I wish it was.
I think it's sad for a director like James Cameron, who I have so much respect for and admiration for over like 3-4 of his movies I love so much, especially 3 of them.
Yeah.
You know, Alien, Terminator 2.
Yeah.
I just don't give 2 fucks, man. Like, who actually likes Avatar?
I don't think anybody. The thing is that you know what's going to happen. Once, because I don't know anybody who watched it more than once.
I just don't. I didn't even see it once.
I mean, I guess I mean, I
skimmed
can't say
through
that.
it.
I asked my little brothers watch it more than once, but like, I don't know.
But
I just can't.
your little brothers also like Transformers, legit.
They do. Well, the middle Lucas does. He
Yeah.
legit like loves Transformers.
So
like legit.
that
So
yeah.
yeah.
But no, I'm not gonna give two fucks about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I had to bring it up just so
No,
we can make
sure.
fun of it.
It's a big deal. I mean, people it did do a lot of technology shit in terms
It
of.
makes me mad because he would have done Alita Battle Angel except for Avatar, and I think, I mean,
Honestly,
especially
no.
the
I
reason
honestly am fine that he didn't do Alita because of who
Mm.
did do it. I haven't seen Alita yet. I want to see it really bad.
I haven't either. I want to see it real bad,
But
but
I think that in terms of picking who should have directed it, the director who did do it is a better fit for that movie.
yeah, I guess so.
Because fucking look, you go watch like Once Upon a Time in Mexico, the Mexican mariachi,
Yeah,
whatever
but
they're
it's
called.
like when you look at a lot of those are like smaller budget. I don't know. I feel like he hasn't had a big. This is like his first like big budget movie.
I'm talking about in terms of action.
Yeah,
The guy knows the dude. The dude created Lucha Underground wrestling. Okay, Robert Rodriguez knows action. I'm okay
Yeah.
with that because those movies, I always forget the name of them. The one with Johnny Depp in it, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, Mexican, the mariachi, whatever they're called, Air Mariachi.
Desperado, Mariachi.
Desperado. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
I always confuse them with other things.
I think it's
But
the Mariachi trilogy or something like
those
that.
movies, the first one being so low budget, is fantastic.
Yeah.
The other two are so action packed that you give him a budget to make a movie that he's probably really enjoyed for a long time.
Yeah.
Because like, look at him. He definitely watches anime.
Oh yeah.
He
for
definitely
sure.
likes anime. Like for sure.
Yeah.
He probably grew up like he probably would be like, damn, I should do Ghost in the Shell, man.
Yeah.
Which
He should have made Ghost in the Shell.
He should have made Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell sucked.
Yeah. It was boring.
Okay,
I remember. I do remember. I don't remember if I told you this after, but I do remember that when we originally watched Ghost in the Shell, somehow I fell asleep halfway through the movie and woke up at the end.
Because Ghost in the Shell, I'm gonna say this, it looks great.
Yeah.
I think Scarlett Johansson looks great in it as Major. The guy who plays Bato looks great as Bato. The team looks great. They don't flesh out anybody, which is the problem.
Yeah.
But the world looks cool, but it's so empty.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm afraid.
Not enough people.
Which is why I'm afraid of a
Cowboy Bebop.
Well, Bebop I can imagine is less scale because it could be a lot of cities in Bebop look like regular cities.
That's true, yeah.
Whereas in that Ghost in the Shell, it's clearly like futuristic shit.
Yeah.
And I think Bebop is an issue, but since it's a TV show, I have a little more leeway there. But the Akira movie that they keep talking about, that's what I have issues because Akira is Neo Tokyo, like that shit, like
it's gonna be packed. It better be packed.
And after like termination of a massive ass like you have to have like rubble and futuristic shit plus the bikes, so it makes me afraid. And then you factor in also James Wan, I think was doing a freaking what's it called?
Aquaman 2.
Well, but the freaking mech anime.
Oh, wasn't he supposed to be doing
Not Macross, but the other one.
I thought it was Mech or Robotech.
Robotech is the American one. Okay, from what I know, this is before our time. From what I understand, Robotech is the American name because the actual anime itself is comprised of like 5 different mech anime.
Okay.
So it's like Macross this, something else this. So when they when they dubbed it for America, they called it Robotech because it involved different. Like in Power Rangers, they have different. No, we have Beetleborgs, but like they have different things in Beetleborgs that are from different Super Sentai shows. Or like how in Power Rangers, the White Ranger isn't even from that season of Power Rangers. It's from a different season. They brought him into that season of Power Rangers. So that's what Robotech is from what I understand. But I'm pretty sure James Wan was supposed to be doing that. I could be completely wrong though.
I feel like I heard about something like that, yeah.
But are you ready to move into our review of the show?
Yes.
This week we're reviewing the new movie from Dan Gilroy starring Jake Gyllenhaal. We're reviewing Velvet Buzzsaw.
Hell yeah.
And right now I'm playing a video of it to see if it works, so who knows?
Oh, okay.
Who knows if that works? We'll find out when I look at the recording.
We're going to have that sweet soundtrack, dude. Oh my god, that song and that trailer is...
I edited together my clip for it on Instagram. That's why I'm playing right now. So,
Okay.
Velvet Buzzsaw came out last week, right?
Yeah, came out Friday.
Okay,
Last
Zach.
Friday. Yes.
How do you feel about Velvet Buzzsaw, the follow-up to Nightcrawler?
I enjoyed this movie a lot. I had a really good time with this movie. I had more fun than I thought. It's not Nightcrawler level because I don't think he'll. Just. It's like how I don't think. I know you don't care, but like Us is not going to be on the level of like Get Out. I think it's impossible to like. Once you have like the first movie that you have that's like that huge, like Nightcrawler is like a movie that like. It's just a great. It's almost a perfect fucking movie. Like I just love Nightcrawler so much, and like
Right.
I don't think I enjoyed this as much as Nightcrawler, but I still enjoyed it quite a lot. One of the biggest problems for me starting out was like the first 20 minutes. I literally, because I watched it with my coworker, and in the first 20 minutes, I looked at him and I was like, "What the fuck are we doing?" Like I don't understand. And then they finally get to the paintings. I was like, "Okay, now I see what we're doing." But like
Dude,
that first, like,
to hold
like,
you on there,
yeah,
my first thought was this when watching it, because I watched it yesterday,
yeah,
was this first act is boring as shit.
yeah,
It is so slow.
yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
Especially that first like 10 minutes, like art gallery. I was like, I don't know what
It's
the fuck.
also bad because the pacing is so bad and how slow it is, but they're
Yeah.
also giving you so much exposition and character development in the
That's
first
the
10
biggest.
minutes.
That's the biggest problem is that this movie has so much
Stuff.
exhibition, exposition.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said
So like in the
exposition.
first act is literally so slow pacing for the overall story, but then
Yeah.
the characters are yapping their mouths off fast. So you have this
Yeah.
weird conflicting thing to where the pace of the actual film is moving slow for story, but then they're trying to force feed you the interactions, and it's like
Yeah.
something got to give, you know.
Yeah. Um, but I mean, overall, I liked it a lot. I mean, when you get to the when the hauntings actually start happening and the paintings actually get introduced, I think the movie picks up quite a bit. And then I started to enjoy it a lot more once you get into the fact of like the paintings like doing some weird ass supernatural freaky shit that they don't really explain if it's a ghost or if it's just like some weird psychic shit or something like that. They don't give you a good explanation. I'm fine with that. It's just some freaky ass shit that's going down with the paintings. But I liked it a lot. I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. But yeah, I definitely think there's some weird, especially in that. Yeah, the first act, the pacing for it is all off. I do like. There wasn't as much Jake Gyllenhaal, especially in the beginning as I thought there was going to be. I thought it was going to be like Nightcrawler, where we're like following Jake Gyllenhaal the whole time. They do a thing where there's like six. I would say there's like six different characters that you're like following the whole time because you've got Toni Collette, you've got Jake Gyllenhaal, you've got the black chick whose name I don't know, you've got Rene Russo,
Nancy.
you've kind of got like John Malkovich plus the other art curator.
The Australian
Their
guy.
like weird storyline thing, and then you've got the chick from Stranger Things.
Nancy, yeah.
Yeah, Nancy.
Yeah.
So you've got like those
Come
like
on, Nance.
Nance. So you've got like those like 6 or 7 characters that you're following throughout, and then progressively as you get throughout the movie, there's less and less characters you need to follow, and it gets more streamlined. But I mean, I enjoyed the back and forth. I think that, but I think it's one of those things where it's also that when you're following so many people like that, as it's going through, especially at the beginning, it's very, very clunky.
Yeah.
I think this movie gets better as you go along, but yeah, the beginning it was very hard for me to understand I was like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Right. No, yeah, I definitely agree that the second and third acts do get better. I think the third act is still also kind of pretty. The second act's the best. The third act's kind of.
The last 5 minutes were kind of ant for me. I don't know. It felt very strange.
I remember stopping probably 45 minutes into the movie, and nothing really happened yet.
Yeah.
And I was kind of underwhelmed.
Yeah.
And then after I finished watching it, I was very underwhelmed. Not saying I didn't like it. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I think you like it more than I do. I definitely don't. I get it. It's a satire of art culture.
Yeah.
If Nightcrawler is a satire of news media and how people consume things, then this is a satire of how people consume art and how art is. I get that.
Yeah.
Movie didn't hit home for me because I used to be part of the news
Yeah, I
culture.
understand the critique he's doing of the news media more than
Yeah,
I
you know.
understand. Because especially, like, I feel like especially, I think the art gallery scene is like one of those scenes where it's like supposed to be setting up like how he's critiquing the art world, but I don't know anything about the art world,
Yeah.
so like I feel like a lot of stuff is just like
Yeah.
flying over my
Like
head.
to me, it's how I feel about when you have a doctor scene or a hacker scene. They're talking and they're giving out the lingo,
Yeah.
just to give it out to make them seem like, oh yeah, that's a hacker.
Yeah.
Okay, you're a snobby art critic, and I get that. But I think in terms of the actual haunting stuff, super tame, man. I was expecting like some real shit, and I didn't get that. This is like some like B grade, B film level horror shit. Like
Yeah,
in terms of
the,
like
the worst
what
thing
happened.
is probably the sphere scene that happens between Colette was probably
Yeah.
the most like gory thing, and other than that, I
Yeah.
was like, eh. You didn't
But
even
like,
see anything. I was so ready when I saw the trailer to watch Hobo Man like fuck somebody up,
yeah.
and it all happens like off screen. Like Jake Gyllenhaal gets killed off screen, and you don't even see what happens to him. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is very underwhelming for me.
Well, I know what happens. He snaps his neck, but that's like I want to see that.
I thought he was like, I don't know. It seemed like from what I saw, it seemed more like it was like because you see his like hands like digging into it. So I thought he was gonna like rip his face off or something like that.
No.
I don't know. It was very strange. They did have a great line after that though, where Nancy sees his body and she's like screams and she's like "fuck me," and I was like, yeah, because you like everybody that you work for somehow fucking dies.
But overall, I think the performances were fine. Like they're fine. They're not bad. I think they're all solid. Jake Gyllenhaal is really great as these weird characters.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know how to feel about this movie, dude, because I was so underwhelmed. Is the only way I can express it. I think the plot was kind of bland. It was a B movie, dude. Like, and I get the satire part, and maybe I'm just not hitting home enough for me to really appreciate that and make it move away, make it move up. But in terms of what I watched, I was looking at it as a thriller horror film with satire elements, which is common, and just being like, man, like they didn't go into the guy's the painter's life enough to understand why.
They really didn't. Yeah.
Whose blood is he painting with? Is it his own blood? Is it someone else's blood? Is it his
It was
parents'
supposed.
blood?
I think they gave like a throwaway line when. I think it was his blood because I remember that they have that scene where Jake Gyllenhaal visits like I guess she's like an art researcher or something
lady,
like that.
yeah.
She says that it's like
Yeah.
human tissue, and I think at one point she said it was like his human tissue or something like that. Or something like that. I don't know. It's very strange. But then it's like it's weird shit where it's like stuff that was happening that like even in the realm of like haunting stuff made no sense. Whereas like they have that scene where the other curator like goes into the art scene and all of a sudden like the house closes in and it like becomes a real house.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, how the fuck did that happen? That doesn't make any sense. Like he tries to open the door and like it's like a wall. I don't know.
When Josephine
yeah, that's the other scene.
How did she what? And
she there's like an alternate dimension where there's like an art gallery that she like walks. It was very strange.
And there's a level of maybe I'm just dumb, but I get it. Where it's like the kid, the painter is coming back from the grave to kill them because they're profiting off of his art when he said to not profit off it.
But that scene also doesn't make sense to me. You can finish your thought, but the ending to that doesn't make any sense to me.
Which part?
So there's that scene where basically if you're going through the thing of like he's haunting them because they're making money off of his art. I guess there's two things I don't understand. So you've got Rene Russo's death at the end that I don't fucking get.
Right.
Because it's like at the end of it, it's like she sold off all of like she got rid of it. Like she basically like boxed it away and she like got rid of it. And so like it doesn't make any sense that like of why she died unless she was just like you tried to profit off it anyway, so fuck you.
Right.
I did like the thing where it was like she got rid of all her artwork, but then they had a throwaway line at some point where it was like tattoos are like the lowest form of art or something like that.
Yeah.
And I like that they, I don't know, the Velvet Buzzsaw thing is her being like she was in like a punk rock band.
Which here's my theory about this because I don't like this at all.
Yeah.
Her character's talking to the guy she's trying to poach, the artist she's trying to poach at the beginning of the film at that party.
The David.
He's like, oh yeah, I've done research on you. You were in that punk band, Velvet Buzzsaw, huh? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Dan Gilroy, you thought of a cool title, and you had to fucking finagle that shit in there.
Yeah, I felt that. Well, it felt finagled, but I remember when we were originally talking about this movie when the trailer came out, we said that like Velvet Buzzsaw sounded like a name that would be like a band name or something like that. So I mean,
if you're gonna have it be called that, then have some real like. I'm not saying like, oh, it's called The Shining, and Jack Nicholson cracks open the door and goes, "There it is, The Shining." But if you're going to call it Velvet Buzzsaw and have it in finagle why, like the name, it's a band. Just don't say anything. Like don't.
Yeah.
Hey,
it would have been it would have been much better if they just shown the tattoo of the Velvet Buzzsaw.
Hey, you were in a punk band, right? Yeah, but why'd you break up? End it there. Don't be like, you were in a punk band, right? Yeah, Velvet Buzzsaw, cool name. Is that also satire? Hold on, is that also a satire thing that I don't get?
Is it a satire of punk bands?
No, is it a satire that the movie's called Velvet Buzzsaw? So they mention it in the script like, oh, hey, it's a cool punk band, it's a cool name, right? Like, is that also a satire that we're not getting?
Fuck, dude, is that satire? That's like 5 stories over my head.
It's a very cool name.
It's a cool name. It's an awesome name.
I was expecting the artist to be named like Velvet Buzzsaw.
That was the other thing where it was like, because they had the Sphere piece, and they kept mentioning this artist's name. He wasn't in the movie at all. Because it wasn't the black character. That wasn't his piece of art.
I thought it was.
I thought it was too, but he had a different name.
I don't know.
It was like I thought it was like a different piece of art. Like I didn't think it was his art. I don't know. It was very strange. The other thing that fucked me up about it was at the end, because the whole thing. Well, okay, now I'm thinking about it, and there's like 2 other things that fucked me up. So first of all, Jake Gyllenhaal doesn't profit off of his art at all. Like he doesn't profit. Like, so the fact that he dies makes no sense.
He's writing that book.
People who profiting off it because they set up that thing where it's like Toni Collette is like basically applying that like he is like an insider trader basically for Rene Russo's character, and like she sells him art. But then they set up the line that his ex-boyfriend is the one that basically was like a spy for Rene Russo. So it doesn't make any sense that like Jake Gyllenhaal dies because he's not purposely like
he's
Rene Russo.
He's has that deal for that book though.
I guess so.
Which is going to further progress his name as a critic, I guess.
I guess if you're looking at he's trying to profit off of the artist's type of thing, I guess it's that. But he's not profiting off of his artwork. He's like profiting off it. I don't know. I don't know. That didn't make any sense to me.
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
And that's my way of saying that movies are it is a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
I will never watch the movie again.
I can see myself watching this in a couple years when I forgot about it, but I don't know. It's not anywhere. It's like I said at the beginning. This is not Nightcrawler level for me.
Yeah. And I had high expectations for this gentleman because much like him, much like with the guy who did Serenity.
Yes.
Stephen Knight, right? I had
Knight, one of the two.
I think it's just Stephen Knight, right?
I think it's Stephen Knight. You're right.
Because he did Locke. Yes. I have such high expectations for both these dudes.
Did you watch that, by the way?
No, not yet.
You need to, dude.
Because both of these movies, the movies that they did prior, I have such high praise for. Yeah. Whether it's Locke, I love Locke. Again, I have a poster. I have a full-size movie poster of Locke over here behind my computer in my living room. It's a fantastic film. Nightcrawler, I adore because I understand so much about it, and it's like about my fucking job, so I love it.
Yeah.
So, but both those movies, from what I hear now, like from Velvet Buzzsaw, the sequel to the next film, I don't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then from what I hear about Serenity, is that it's also whatever.
Yeah. Serenity is like I talked about last week. Serenity is great until the twist happens, and then you're like, what the fuck?
And that's such a letdown. Cause
I audibly went in the theater because I was with coworkers and we saw this together. And in the theater, I went, what the fuck, when it happened. Right. I was like, what the fuck?
Right. I don't know, man.
I don't know, but
Buzzsaw is a movie.
For my last bit, it also doesn't make any sense if he's... Unless he's gonna like haunt everybody that like buys his artwork, because then they show the homeless man that's like selling his artwork at the end.
I think that's
so. It's like that's still somebody that's like profiting off of this. I guess it's not because he's not making like outrageous amounts of money.
Or maybe that's satire of how even people who aren't rich can appreciate it.
Maybe
because they're paying like cheap money for it.
Maybe. I don't know. Because he sells it for like $5 or something like that, right? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. It's all very. It's the more I'm thinking about it now, it's like you're bringing me. It's the story's going. I mean, I still enjoyed it, but like, yeah, it's not.
I saw so many reviews about it, giving it so much praise, and I was like,
I haven't seen any reviews about it. Do people like it a lot?
From what I've read, and I was like, dude, stop sucking this dude's dick.
Like, well, it was the same thing where it's like I saw the reviews for Buster Scruggs, and I was like, Right. Buster Scruggs is and then I saw all people be like, it's the greatest thing of all time. No, it's not that great. First of all, they've had better movies. Dan Gilroy said better movies. Also, apparently he directed that Denzel Washington movie last.
What's it called?
Roman J. Esquire or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that, but that looked uninteresting to me.
I always preface this when we talk about movies, and we give it negative thoughts. Is that maybe it's not our demographic for a film? Maybe we're on the demo. Maybe it's because I like martial arts and kung fu and action films, and obviously that kind of shit. I don't know, but for me, I think about the movie. I thought about it hard after I watched it. I had to wipe my palate of it by watching The Raid because I had to watch a good movie. No, it's not a bad film. It's fine. I think the horror parts, the killing parts, I really expected a lot more out of those.
Yeah,
they weren't
a lot more gore for sure.
To me, they weren't creative. They weren't that scary. They pulled away from the scene too often, so I didn't get to see anything.
Yeah, I mean, the only scene that they really stayed on, like I said, was the sphere scene. That was the only scene where they like actually stayed on the death. Everything else was like they basically pulled away from it. I guess they kind of do with like Rene Russo's death at the end when her tattoo like becomes a buzzsaw. But even then, that's like an underwhelming thing because it's like I don't know, tattoos don't go that deep. I don't understand how that's.
But also, the tattoo was flat, so all it would have done was.
It really did. When you look at it, it just makes like a tiny hole. I don't know. It didn't make any sense.
But then that's all it would do.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very strange.
And there's irony in there with Josephina or whatever her name is, like talking shit about murals and street art, and then she ends up becoming one, and no one's gonna see her. I get it, and she wants to be seen so bad. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. I'm there, but
yeah,
I would rather have watched Starship Troopers.
Yeah,
if I'm watching a satire. Or The Simpsons.
Or RoboCop.
Or especially fucking RoboCop. Dead or Alive, you're coming with me.
Yeah.
Guys, this has been the TS Redux. We'll be back again next week for some more movie news, more movie chat, and another movie review. Zach, what do you want to do next week, though?
Do you finally want to get around to The World's End?
I don't know, man. I'm not in the mood for it right now, kind of.
I don't know. I don't really know anything that's like, nothing's like tip-topping on the top of my head right now.
All right, I'll pick it right now. Hold on. Give me a second.
All right.
Give me a quick second.
You let me know.
Let me, Big Lebowski.
Okay.
There it is. Because I want to watch it really bad again.
That's fine.
Here's the downside to this.
Speaking of the Big Lebowski.
Go ahead.
Fucking bullshit Super Bowl commercial that you showed up for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
Fucking hated that shit.
One though, a big downside to watching Big Lebowski right now, though, is that it just left Netflix.
Did it really?
This past month.
Oh my god.
So you know what? Hold on. I want to change that again. Scratch it from the record.
Hold on. Wait. We got Amazon. Hold on. Let me. Oh, you look and I'll look and we'll see.
Scratch it from the records. Hold on. Scratch it from the records because we've done it. We've reviewed a Coen Brothers movie before.
We reviewed Fargo and mini review of Buster Scruggs. It was let's see.
Netflix still has No Country, but I don't feel like watching that.
No, I don't feel like watching that either.
You know what? I'm gonna give you two. Here's my options. I want to do really bad. I want to do either Lebowski or I want to do Oh Brother.
I'd rather do Oh Brother.
Okay, I'm fine with that then.
Okay.
You cool with that?
I've got a movie for us to do next week then.
Okay.
Or not next week, the week after.
Okay, cool. What is it? You want to save it?
I mean, we can say it right now.
Yeah, go
I
for
want to do Joaquin Phoenix's You Were Never Really Here, which is on Amazon Prime.
I watched it.
Did you?
Yeah.
I have not watched it yet.
Yeah. I'm not gonna spoil anything for you. If you do want to do it,
Okay.
yeah.
We'll see next week.
We'll see next week. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully the video turns out right. If it doesn't, it might not get posted, but we'll find out. So thanks, guys, for watching. We'll see you back next week.